Hello and welcome to Track by Track Reviews. I'm Rory Sullivan and surprise guest today, Sam Mayo. You're shocked. Oh my God, he's never been on. Rarely have we been graced with your presence on the show.
I know.
Today we're in to talk about the new Destroyer album, which came out yesterday, called Kaputt. And yeah, I actually pre-ordered this thing, which I never do, but yeah, they gave me like a poster and a pin, so I'm sporting that shit. Destroyer is a band that a long time ago, for a while, I brushed them off because their name was Destroyer, and I thought they were like a metal band or something, and I was like, not really my thing. And then I listened to Destroyer's Rubies a couple of years back, and I was like, this is a little weird. I don't really like his voice that much.
Yeah.
I revisited it. I really like it. You don't.
Yeah. I listened to it, and I was just not impressed at all.
I love it, for the record.
I just thought it was the most boring, like, cheesy, like, indie rock I've ever heard. And completely forgot about them and never paid attention to them since. And but then, just about a month ago, Rory showed me Chinatown and Bay of Pigs from this album, and I was like, holy shit, this is Destroyer? So I went back and I listened to Destroyer's Rubies again, still hated it. Street Hawk of Seduction, which got great reviews, the 2001 album to that, hated it. The one they did before this, Trouble in Dreams, 08, hated it. Just all boring. And Year of Blues, their 04 album, is the only one that comes close for me.
I still need to listen to it.
But this is complete change in sound from anything they've done before. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I totally, like...
Just completely out of left field. Like, to me, the equivalent of this would be like... Alright, okay, maybe like Coldplay or something. Like, Coldplay, they're good musicians, right? And, like, you know, their music isn't bad, per se, but it's boring, and I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah.
This would be like... This album would be like if Coldplay put out like an album that I thought was amazing.
Let's get into the first track, Chinatown, which I'll leave a free download to. This song made me want to check out the entire album because it was the first song that I heard. Yeah. And yeah, it's so good. The first thing you're gonna notice if you're a Destroyer fan is just how calm it is. Like the drums are just boom, boom, just a basic beat. Yeah. And it's very synth heavy. And then there's also these jazz elements, which totally took me off guard, but I loved.
You're super shocked. Like you put it on and you're like, oh, this is a lot more mellow for Destroyer, and like his vocal style has changed on this album.
It's not as like eccentric and crazy.
Yeah, it's like he toned it down. It almost seems like for this album he got way more mature suddenly.
You can definitely tell that it's still Dan Behar.
Well, you can tell it's him.
His lyrics and his singing style, but I love how the female vocals accompany him. Yeah, they fit together so great.
It's a great song, great opener.
And I think of most of the songs on this album, this song like repeats the chorus.
Yeah, you stole that thought right in my head.
Yeah, which makes it sort of like immediately catchy.
It is probably the most like easily accessible song.
I can't walk away at all. Yeah. The next song, Blue Eyes, once again, I have to say the female vocals. This is where I think they're the most prominent and work the best.
Definitely.
Because just during the chorus,
I don't know.
She kind of takes over during the chorus.
Yeah, she does, but there's other songs that I really like with female vocals too.
Yeah, but I mean here it's like she's at the front the most.
Oh, definitely.
And I love the part right after the chorus where it's blue eyes and you get that
That's great. The guitar. Love
that.
Perfect. The guitar, the saxophone, and the vocals all just line up perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. Great song.
For show.
Beatles reference in the beginning of the lyrics.
What is the...
Mother Nature's song.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Dan Behar, too, is you sometimes don't really know what he's talking about.
Yeah, the lyrics are really
They're very cryptic, but it's not like, oh, these lyrics are about nothing. I feel like Dan Behar knows what they're about.
Definitely.
But he's not necessarily just going to let you, like, he's not just going to throw it out there and be like, this is what the song's about. You have to figure it out.
And the way he sings the lyrics, too, the vocal delivery really makes them resonate.
I think in this album and pretty much every Destroyer album, the lyrics are a big part of the music, and that's why so many people love Dan Behar. I mean, you're a permanent figure of jacked up sorrow. I want you to love me. You send me a coffin of roses. I guess that's the way things go these days. And it's like, well, I don't really know what that means, but it's really beautiful, and like, no one else really writes like that.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite song on the album.
You want to go?
Savage Night at the Opera.
It's pretty. I love that bass.
It's some of the. It's like one of the greatest openings I've heard in a while. It's just like ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-da. The synth also on this album on this song is perfect. And like to me, every aspect of this song just lines up perfectly. I love the lyrics too. I have no idea what they're about. I heard their record. It's all right.
No, I heard the record.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's just like I wish I could explain why I love this song so much, but for me, I don't know. This is just the pinnacle of this album.
All right. Well, the next song, "Suicide Demo" for Kara Walker, is also. It's in contention for my favorite song on the album.
Yeah,
it's one of the longer ones.
Same here. It is long. Yeah,
it's got this slow, like sort of like groovy intro that I fucking love.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
that's kind of another thing.
It sort of reminds you of Bay of Pigs a little.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's about 2 minutes before you even hear his voice.
Yeah.
And it's really great, like acoustic guitar playing and saxophone and all that stuff. It's like really like intimate.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's like almost like baby making.
No, exactly. That's kind of what makes me think of Ariel Pink.
Yeah.
It's like you can't hear my eyes. It's kind of like,
right.
Ooh, what is this doing here? It's kind of
exactly.
like.
It's like sensual seduction.
Yeah. I remember Ford, who couldn't be with us today. I think like a cougar.
He passed away.
Yeah, cougar attacked him.
Yeah.
On the drive over, just on the highway, just took his car out, and he's dead. So
we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, unfortunately couldn't be here, but this was his favorite song on the album. Great.
Also, I think this might be the most lyrically intricate song on the album.
Oh yeah, it's like
if you look in the book,
pages.
it's like 3 full pages of lyrics.
Absolutely, and Kara Walker she's this African American artist.
Oh,
I looked at some of her stuff. It's pretty interesting.
Apparently I also read that he named it Suicide Demo because the original demo for the song he thought kind of sounded like a band called Suicide, which
really?
I've never listened to.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Fool child, you're never gonna make it. New York City just wants to see you naked, and they will, though they never say so. And there's one lyric that kept throwing me off, and I looked it up on Lyric Site, and no one knew what it was. So when I finally got this, I was like, oh, I have to look that up. It's all that slender-wristed, white, translucent business passes for love these days. Mushhead genius passes for love these days.
Yeah, the lyrics are crazy. Doesn't he say like something about a negress?
Negress, yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
Who's ever said that?
Yeah, and like what a weird. I asked my harmless little negress. You got to say yes to another excess. Let's go for a ride.
You asked your dad?
Yeah, I asked my dad.
Well, son, there comes a time in every man's life when he has to have this conversation.
No, I asked my dad what a negress meant, and he goes, "Well, I think it just means a black woman."
Okay.
And I'm like, okay,
she's a black woman.
I guess I guess that's what it means. It's just a weird word.
To the dictionary.
Yeah.
All right, the next song, "Pour in Love," is a really great song too. Just the idea of this song and sort of the way it's executed is very simple. It's just like a heartful like longing for love song, which is like something that straightforward from Dan Behar is kind of interesting to see. And just the music is just dun 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 dun. It's very simple, but it's a great song.
Yeah. It's almost like another Chinatown. It's like
a little bit.
Yeah.
The next song, "Kaputt," I'm really excited to talk about because it's one of my favorites.
It's probably definitely.
And the music video.
So interestingly enough, I read that this is their 9th album, but this is their first music video.
No shit.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And what a great first music video. Holy hell.
I love it. We'll leave a link, but it really it feels so 80s just watching it.
Does.
The women in the one piece swimsuits.
We should mention that this whole album feels really 80s for some reason.
Absolutely.
We should also, I know everybody's been mentioning this, but it is true. I mean, it's pointless to deny at this point. Over the past 2 or 3 years, obviously, a trend in music lately we've noticed is that...
Totally. The last album we did under here, Yay Sayer.
Yeah, Yay Sayer. It's people lately have been taking all the best elements of the 80s, blending them with more, like Ariel Pink, the whole chillwave scene.
Oh, totally.
Taking the best elements of the 80s and sort of... blending them into a new style.
It's almost
of
like
music.
80s got a second chance.
Yeah,
We're gonna do it right this time.
Yeah, exactly. That's almost what like the past couple years in music has been like.
But it's got one of my favorite opening lines of definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's like
wasting your days chasing some girls all right, chasing cocaine to the back rooms of the world all night. I love that.
When I think of this album, I think of this line.
The next song in the album, "Downtown," actually took a little time to grow. I didn't like it that much.
It's still, if I had to pick a least favorite song of the album, it would be this one.
I'm gonna say the next one, but
Song for America?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really love that just simple thudding bass part throughout this entire song. The song really does sort of stay in the same place the whole time, which is why it took a little longer to like.
Right.
But it's still a great song.
It definitely is. I mean, there's no bad songs on this album. I definitely love the female lyrics. Downtown in the background, like
Yeah.
over.
I actually really love Dan Behar's vocals on this track. A little bit, like his singing on this album, like we were saying, is more restrained.
Yeah. Which
But
I
here,
love.
you hear a little eccentricity come out when he sings, "Oh Ava, your face."
You can definitely sort of
it
hear.
slowly eases back in. Let's
That's
go
very
to the next song, "Song for America," which was referenced in Kaputt. This is my least favorite.
It seems like through. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It just never quite gets its hooks in me. I mean, it's like a lot of the songs. It's got the same kind of format. It's got the horns and the saxophone and the brass and all that and the synths. But for some reason, it just doesn't touch me as that great.
It's not. It's sort of like Downtown. It isn't really as. Yeah. But
it does stay in this. It stays in the same place kind of the entire time.
I mean, it fits the flow, but I mean, not every. If ever, let me put it this way: if every song was like as expansive as Suicide Demo or Kaputt, this album would get a little overwhelming.
It'd be like 3 hours long.
It would get a little overwhelming.
It like the lyrics are kind of on this album or on this song just kind of repeated, which I kind of like him to explore. That's when I think he's most interesting, and he just kind of repeats the same couple things over and over. It's not a bad song at all.
No.
It totally fits and everything.
Well, right. I mean, if you have to pick a least favorite song.
The last song on the album, "The Bay of Pigs," was on the Bay of Pigs EP, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I think it fits nice as a closer. It's the longest song on the album.
Definitely.
And
it's like, is it 12 minutes?
It's 11.
Yeah, okay.
But it takes a really long time to get into. For the longest time, I want to say like 3 or 4 minutes, it's just like this really ambient music.
Right, like with like the arpeggiated synth, like.
Yeah, and just Dan Behar's vocals and really nothing else. And then finally it gets started. As apocalypses go, that's pretty good, sha-la-la, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I love that.
And then it really gets like back into like the rhythm
so
grooves of this album.
It definitely ties up the album perfectly.
Oh yeah, and once again, lyrically, this is what I mean. He totally just explores, goes everywhere. It doesn't seem to repeat anything. He's just kind of like, there's not really a chorus or anything. He just kind of like
verse after verse after
like
verse.
letting his mind out.
like a Rolling Stone.
Exactly. You read my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say this song, we were talking about this earlier, this song sounds the most different to me.
Oh, definitely.
And once again, his vocal eccentricity is sort of coming out on this song.
Yeah. But it still fits the theme of the album perfectly.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you hear all the elements of the album throughout this song for sure.
Yeah. But all right, Sam, final thoughts on the album. I know you liked it a lot.
Oh yeah. This album completely surprised me. Like, didn't have my eye on it or anything. Like, basically what I've noticed is whenever an album surprises me, or like I'm not expecting it to be as good as it is, especially for the band that it is when I really love it.
Yeah.
This album's just fucking fantastic. Like, it never gets old. Like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I gotta mention, I listen to this album, like, what I do is that I put albums on repeat on my computer with Winamp and fall asleep to them. So I get like a shit ton of Scrabbles on Last FM because it like plays all night. So I did this like maybe 4 or 5 nights in a row with this album because I fucking loved it so much. And Rory's on Last FM, and he's on Destroyer's Last FM page, and they have recent top listeners, and it's me. It's Pastor M12, and Rory got a kick out of that. It was pretty funny. I'm no longer, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, fucking fantastic album.
What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9.2 out of 10.
All right. Yeah. So I'm really on the same page with you. I loved it. Once again, like when we're talking about which song is our least favorite, like when that's a hard question because all the songs are so good, you know it's a good album.
Oh, definitely.
And
definitely.
Oh my God, the production. I mean, them combining all these things and making them work, not only just like make sense, but be as catchy and good as it is. The jazz elements, the classic Dan Behar indie rock style, and the 80s sort of synths.
Definitely.
And that all comes together seamlessly. It's so well done.
If it weren't for that 80s sound, this would just be any other Destroyer album.
Maybe.
And I would not like it at all.
I probably would have liked it anyway.
Yeah.
But
you're more of a traditional indie rock fan than I am.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, once again, Dan Behar's really interesting, and I'm glad he brought in the female vocals because they work so well with him. One thing is, some people might argue that all the songs sort of do the same thing, and I guess they kind of do, but I think that really just contributes to the flow of the album.
Feel.
Another thing is, at times, the rhythms and drums really do sound the same. I mean, when he's gets a beat, he really sticks to it.
Definitely.
For pretty much the entire song.
The drummer really wasn't doing it.
But I mean, as a drummer, that's kind of, I'd like to hear a little more.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to mention that all review.
Yeah, well, I was saving it until the end. And really, I mean, when you go back to the '80s, that's kind of you have to do.
Yeah, it's the simplified drum beats.
It's just like electronic drum beats.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
That's how it was in the '80s.
And the grooves are great and everything, but it's not as interesting as it could be. A minor issue, really, on a great album.
Oh, definitely.
I totally agree. I'm gonna give this the highest score I've ever given on track-by-track reviews.
No way.
A 9. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I guess you're right. You've never given a 9 before.
But yeah, that's our review of Destroyer's album Kaputt, out on Merge Records.
Kaputt!
2011 first review. We are back, and we will see you next week. That is a promise.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.